All right, from the very small town, Morton, Mississippi. I pulled up a map. Well, not a map, but a picture of Morton, Mississippi, downtown Morton, Mississippi. And I swear you can stand on one end of the street, throw a rock, and you've pretty much covered the whole town by the time the rock reaches by the time the rock drops on the other side of town. On down the street. Very small town, Morton, Mississippi. But boy, talk about some major soul music from Morton, Mississippi. B. Angie B. She's at number 19, up from number 23. With So Much Love on my fancy playlist, October 12, 1991. B. Angie B. Her real name, Angela Boyd. She was born in 1968 in Morton, Mississippi. She graduated from high school in Morton, Mississippi. A few years later, well, she started singing when she was in church. She refined her vocal technique when she was singing in church. A few years after she graduated from high school, she moved to the West Coast, or moved west. And she hooked up with a guy named James Early, who later became her husband. He was a producer. That led to an introduction to MC Hammer. And before she knew it, she was singing back up on MC Hammer on some of his records. One of them, Pump It Up, which is from his album, one of his early albums, Let's Get It Started. That was in the late 80s. She toured with MC Hammer, being a backup singer and dancer for MC Hammer. And trying to think of anything else I need to go into from that era. Well, to move ahead, MC Hammer was pretty impressed with her vocal abilities, and boy, she had an amazing voice. B. Angie B. Angela Boyd. Oh, that was the thing I wanted to bring up. B. Angie B. came about. It was MC Hammer who changed Angela Boyd's name to B. Angie B. One day he just said to her, "Just be Angie. Be Angie B." He was impressed enough with B. Angie B., her voice. He signed her to his Busted label, which was distributed by Capitol Records. He teamed up now. There's two stories on this. One story has it that James Early co-produced this record, but I ran into another story that Hammer co-produced this record, co-produced her debut album, along with a fellow named Felton Pilot, formerly of Confunction, her debut album, and the first record, I Don't Want to Lose Your Love, which was an R&B hit. I remember watching the video on BET. Lovely black woman, absolutely sensuous, perfect figure. The voice is just awesome. The passion that she pours through her voice is just absolutely just breathtaking. I was just a great beat to the record. It so much. I Don't Want to Lose Your Love was originally done by the Emotions, and I guess that was her biggest hit, relatively speaking. And then she came up with this ballad, So Much Love. And by the way, I Don't Want to Lose Your Love, I had that way up on my fancy playlist back in the spring of 1991. I think I had that one up to about number 4 or 5, although it wasn't much of an impact on the pop charts. And the album itself, her debut album, sold very poorly. Only 137,000 copies, and that's it. She was dropped. She put out another album, I believe, off this Busted label, and then she was dropped from the label in the early 90s. And she went into real estate and interior design. She moved back to Mississippi, and then moved to the suburbs of Atlanta with her 2 children. And But then I read that on Wikipedia that she's actually worked on a brand new album that was slated to be released this past summer. So it looks like she hasn't completely given up on the music business. This singing and music is like being a DJ. When it gets in your blood, when it gets in your DNA, it stays there. You always come back to it. B. Angie B. with So Much Love at number 19 on my fancy playlist.